makes my immune system attack itself. And it tears down your kidneys, your lungs, your whole body. And at this time, I'm 75 years old. And the point here is what they did to get to me was I couldn't get jobs. I lived on the apple. They made me look nuts if you didn't care to see the truth. That's it. They did several the Roanoke Times articles prior to 2000 when it went on, I guess, on computer. You can still get those. You would get the gist of the lies and everything that have been made up. But anyway, I wanted to focus on what's happened to me. I couldn't get places to live. When I did get money, a little bit of money, someone, and I'm going to name his name, so I don't know if this will go up, Terry Sawyer. He works with the Park Service out of D.C. He's got a laminated ID. He the uniform division. He also works for drug enforcement. He's got that. So I thought he was a friend. I couldn't get. He also comes out of the POF building, used to, with the Marshal Service. So I don't, he's got a bunch of things going for him, but, I mean, nobody would help me. Nothing. They just want me dead, kill the messenger, I've been told. So this background check, if you read a background check done on me, you wouldn't get any of the truth. I can't even use my real name. And like Jean Seberg, when she was murdered November of 79, they've done a well of a job on me, and I don't even know where my sons Mark and Scott are. But it's put me into Edinburgh Square, and you associate Edinburgh with the Queen of England and etc. You get that castle. I was told by a Brit I met, and the Brits told me my real name and what had happened. And God, I hope I don't get some of them in trouble. But they told me that I was the legal heir, and I am. I know that. But they seem to know my tracks were laid down too. I don't know that they can do anything. It would take them or the agency doing this to stop the whole mess and make the media want to prosecute it. Now then, I was taken to Edinburgh. It's a retirement for elderly, and I was so happy to get off the trail, and they run me on the trail. So, you don't have food and money, you're afraid, you got snakes and bears and no water, etc., no food. I was so glad to get there. When I got there, what could be reasonably okay, it was a Section 8. So I've been delegated to having to beg a pauper. That's what Larry Flynn, I was made a pauper, what he said in the endorsement. I can't remember ever not having to fight for my life. When I was writing the book, I wrote it and long before then, and then to find out it wasn't just the book, it was who I am and being kidnapped. But the next one, I had to leave Edinburgh because I was soaked in chemicals. And unless you know what it does to me and my body, I stayed there 6 full months. I left, I begged, I pleaded. I had to go back to the woods to camp. So that this tape doesn't run out, the next house or apartment that, Terry Sawyer and the law enforcement were the ones that got it. It was Richville. Which is relatively nice, and they have a Section 8, though, that's nice. And they collect, all of it looks so good, unless you hear what's really going on. They collected for this poor little soul, worthless little soul that's the way I've been made to look, with a backpack, and that's it, and sons that I don't know where they are, I can't, and everybody around here knows it anyway, just like Huntsville, Alabama, and Atlanta knew it. So I've been made to look like this just person that runs around and begging and lying about all this when they know it's the truth, and that's the part that they are afraid of. So if I'm babbling, let me go to, I had to go back to Richfield. I'm here now, and a place I've been over a year, and it's a motel. And I've tried to get back in places, and I can't. Because, quite frankly, they joined a conspiracy. The law goes in and tells the maintenance and the crew to gas me, just like they have, well, anyway. I showed you one of them, the affordable, where I pay. It was never a matter of me paying my rent. And this is Section 8, okay? We're talking about. You got the felons and everything else, I suppose, that rent them. But Richfield, I had to go back there a couple of years ago. I was there in '08 and had to leave. It was pretty, but I was so sick all the time from the fumes and everything, and they knew exactly what they were doing. So Richfield sent me back, and Allison is still the person there, Allison Sanford. So these people should be locked up for good. She sent me a letter way back then when I asked, I'm having to ask and beg to go back to places where they should be sued, locked up. She sent me Equifax out of Atlanta, only it didn't have anything. I wrote Equifax from Atlanta, and they said they'd never heard of me. But really, that's not the point. The point is, on Section 8, unless you've committed a felony or been evicted, I believe is one of the things, and still owe, then they can't disqualify you. So they've gone around the bush here. When I called Equifax back then or got a letter from them, they didn't know who I am, so they didn't send her this report. Now then, here a few months ago, I went back to Edinburgh. Same people I was talking about that did it to me too. So now then, I've had to go to Richfield about a month and a half ago, and what they did is they're kicking it around. They kicked it to Renee Williams, who now it's gone. I put it on some other tapes, but now it's deleted off of my phone, that one. I put it on several. There was a note under it, a letter from her under it, and it had something about, I guess she knows I've been putting it on YouTube and all this as common knowledge because I can't get an attorney or anything to help me. So she sent something with some numbers saying there was a medical report and it was supposed to be burned. And, oh my God, it makes you wonder what the heck has been told now. And I couldn't see it. That's my understanding. Now it's deleted. I was going to text it again or photograph it. Now that I got a letter back from them, I've done nothing. You'd have to hear the whole thing. I've paid my rent. They have joined a conspiracy and soaked me in chemicals. And as it stands, I'm not going to live long. My lungs and kidneys are absolutely gone. I can't even walk. But here is the rejection I got back. So they're telling me there's other reasons. They list all these, but they don't mark them, not even Equifax this time. So we're down here to other reasons. And here's the deal on the back. They let Allison, who was the original, can you guess this? Nobody, I was told by an FBI agent in '82, and he yawned, faked yawn, and he said, you know what people do with all this? You bore them until they find out how it affects them. So here we've got Tina Nolan, Director of Independent Living, Ridgecrest, it's Richfield. And underneath it, you got Allison and got a file copy, and they've rejected me. They don't really give me a reason here, but I'm rejected. Now then, Joseph's Way, if I can make this quick and it doesn't go off, it was owned by Reverend Moore, a black minister out of North Carolina. And he owns a whole bunch of these retirement, and HUD is federal, so you got federal people involved. And again, Terry Sawyer took me there. The only places really I could get to live, Terry Sawyer